What's going on, you guys? Frost here, and I am back with another video. In today's video, I'll be doing an in-depth Rengar jungle guide. Rengar is a very strong assassin, very snowball-heavy champion when it comes to just winning games in solo queue, really. People are never coordinated enough to deal with a Rengar, and you just have a lot of outplay potential. Now, Rengar has a very high skill cap, so he actually is pretty difficult to play at a high level. And yeah, I would definitely recommend playing him though, because he's really, really fun. I've mained Rengar for several seasons, and yeah, I just really enjoy him. Now, let's get right into the runes. There are two rune pages or two setups that Rengar uses / you need to be using yourself as well. Now, this comes with a little bit of a different playstyle as well, so you definitely have to keep that in mind. So you have the Conqueror setup and you have an Electrocute setup. Now, the playstyle difference here is Electrocute is purely for one-shots, and it's going to be good against just one-shotting squishy targets and really just pressuring the enemy, because if you're facing anything squishy or very squishy enemy teams and you just go Electrocute, then you just can instantly delete people off the map. It's going to be a lot easier than doing that with Conqueror. Now, however, Conqueror kind of changes the playstyle because you have to stay in fights longer, so you have to play it slower. And usually you can still go for the one-shots, but it's in most cases better to just play it slower, because you just stack your Conqueror up. You can pretty much stack it instantly if you leap on a target, so that's good anyway. But just using your Conqueror slowly and then trying to stay in the fights as long as possible, jumping around, is more of a situation with Conqueror. Electrocute, you just go in, one-shot somebody, run out if you want to, but this just, you have to keep this stacked for this to be effective. Now, you still get the adaptive force, so if you jump in and, for example, do a triple Q combo, then Conqueror is just going to stack up, give you more adaptive force, and eventually your Qs is just going to start hammering them really hard. So that's the situations there. Now, let's just do the Conqueror setup first. So it's Conqueror, you can go Triumph then. And then right here, I tend to pick up Bloodline, simply because Tenacity on Rengar don't necessarily need it. You have the Spell Shield, and you also have, like, well, I say you have the Edge of Night, not Spell Shield specifically. But you could use the Edge of Night, and also your W cleanses you, really. So if you just use your W properly, you should normally be fine tenacity-wise. You can always still pick up Mercs if you want to, but usually I find Bloodline to be more effective, simply because the lifesteal effect from this is really, really big. And it's going to allow you to sustain the fights, and that's really what you're looking for. You're looking to sustain the fights with Conqueror, so you can come out ahead. And that's why this rune helps a lot with that. Now for the setup here, it's pretty much just coup de grace. You can pick anything here. Anything can be good, but usually with Rengar, you're still looking for those one-shots, still going for those one-shots, so coup de grace will help the best with those one-shots. And then as a secondary setup for this, or a secondary page for this, what I tend to pick up is just Sudden Impact and Relentless Hunter. Sudden Impact gives you the lethality, so if you jump in, you get the lethality, equaling more burst, and since your burst pretty much lands on the enemy within like a second and a half or something like that, you have more than enough time to get the extra lethality, and this is going to help quite a lot. Now, I tend to pick up Relentless Hunter. Some of you guys might be like, why Relentless? You can also go Ultimate. Ultimate is not bad. It's going to give you more ults to just go around the game, but in general, Relentless on Rengar is very good because this helps you just run around the map and also catch people easier. So let's say you ult from a big distance, right? You can then start scouting, and then with all the extra move speed you have from Relentless Hunter, on top of the fact that you also can use like an empowered ability if you're going for like a triple Q combo to get more move speed out of that, they are not going to be able to get away from you. So even if they flash, even if they do anything like that, you just run them down. So that's really why I like Relentless a lot on those situations. Just getting all of that extra move speed out of your ultimate, out of using an empowered ability, out of Relentless Hunter. It's going to just allow you to, even if they flash, even if they do something like that, you just have a lot of distance to close. You can start ulting early, start checking for anything vision-wise with your ultimate and type of stuff like that. So that's really why I prefer Relentless. All that extra move speed also translates into having a better jungle clear, because if you're just running around the map clearing your camps, then Relentless is going to give you the increased move speed as well. So this is just overall a more efficient way to go on Rengar, is what I've noticed, and I've not really felt the ultimate CDR or anything like that. So you can also go for the Ultimate Hunter or even Ravenous if you want for more sustain, but just usually the Bloodline effect with Conqueror and then also using W's in essential situations is more than enough sustain, and that's why I go for Relentless on this setup. Alright, so that's, yeah, it for the rune setup. I don't recommend really going anything else. You can, if you want to, like go for the magical footwear with Futures Market combination on this. Simply Futures Market to make sure you pick up your Tiamat as early as possible and also pick up your items a little bit easier. So that's an option as well. However, I just find the Relentless is like a kind of just a really good rune to have on Rengar. It's just something I personally want to opt for a lot, and I would recommend to as well. I see quite a lot of higher elo Rengar players also use this rune, so I mean, yeah. Now for the runes here, it's just attack speed is really good because this helps you with your jungle clear early a lot, and just having 10% extra attack speed also means you can leap faster. That might sound weird, but your leap is basically an auto attack, so you like to leap more in fights, to be more mobile in fights, to jump between like wards, plants, and champions. You need to have more attack speed to be able to jump those things as fast as possible. You can, of course, use the leap and then use a Q for another like leap reset, really. So you can just leap and then insta leap again, based off like using your Q to reset that. But the attack speed helps with that as well. So then adaptive force and just take like armor or magic resist depending on what you're facing in the enemy. Now this again doesn't matter, like for jungle clear wise you should be fine regardless. Now moving on to the electrocute setup. With electrocute, sudden impact is like just the situation for burst, and then eyeball collection is usually the best one to go for because, well, let's face it, if you're like anything low elo then zombie ward not worth it, but high elo zombie ward could be better for more control and just in general. So that's the difference there. And then just here again, Relentless. And this route we have picked up Relentless here, so I actually don't need anything else. And I'm just going to go and opt for the magical footwear and Futures Market combination in the electrocute setup. This guarantees me to get the Tiamat as fast as possible, and also the magical footwear gives me the slight extra move speed to then just run around with that as well. So also not having to buy boots is pretty nice, because then you can invest your money more into other stuff and pick up that stuff with Futures Market a little bit earlier and everything like that. Kind of works out really well with the electrocute setup to just push damage. And this remains the same. So that's pretty much it for the runes on Rengar. If you guys have any questions on the runes, make sure to put this in the comments below. And I'll just go on to the item build now. Alright, so for the item build, we have the Hunter's Machete start with a refillable potion. This is just the best start on Rengar. It's going to help you with your clear the most, and yeah, just leave it at that really. You do not want to upgrade this into any type of jungle item. On Rengar, this is not worth doing. It's like it's really just if you just need this to clear your camps, and you just want to rush that Tiamat to help you clear your camps. So that's really the thing. Just don't upgrade your jungle item on Rengar. It's not needed, and it's not a good play either. It's just about pushing damage between lethality items over getting like a warrior enchant. So just don't do that, and then you should be good. So move on. Initial item, main item, you want to rush for as fast as possible after this. Just starting setup, skipping everything else, skipping boots, skipping everything you can. Just get a Tiamat. This is going to allow you to clear your jungle at a rapid speed, and allow you to also just do AoE damage when like jumping into enemy teams as well. So this is overall a very high value item on Rengar, and it's the item you need to rush to have a good jungle sustain, good jungle clear. You can use your W to heal your life back, and you can just auto attack to get lifesteal that way, and it's just easy to clear with just a machete, no problem. So this is the item you want to go for. Now for the Rengar build, it's quite linear. It doesn't really change much or anything at all. Like there's no variables on this. The only variable I have is you could like get a different lethality item, but that's about it. So it's a pretty straightforward build, and the build is quite literally just go Tiamat into a Duskblade. You can in between pick up boots if you want. If you have magical footwear, I would not recommend doing that. So if you went for the electrocute or just magical footwear in general, you cannot buy boots in general, but upgrading those boots, probably not necessary either. You can just go and opt for a Duskblade as fast as possible after a Tiamat, and this will give you a high amount of burst damage, 21 lethality as well. So that's really just a big damage spike for you, and this is something you want to rush. Now after this, you can then upgrade your boots into the Lucidity boots for the CDR. This is just very good. Now also, if you notice that you have electrocute and or just, not even electrocute specifically, if you're just struggling with hard CC and your W isn't enough, you can also pick up Mercs if you want to. But usually just picking up the CDR boots for more ultimates, and just the only thing that limits Rengar's kit is cooldowns. So for just more anything in general when it comes to his kit, then just pick up CDR boots. and you're good off that. So that's just pick up boots, tenacity if you need it, and just boots there. Now going on from here, it's just going for the Edge of Night in most of your games, if not all of your games, is the best item. In some games, if you have an Ornn, something I do want to mention, if you do have an Ornn, then actually getting Ghostblade is just like something you strongly have to consider, because the upgrade is going to give you quite a lot of free stats. So if you do not necessarily need the spell shield or anything like that, if you do have an Ornn, Ghostblade is able to be upgraded. So keep that in mind. You can also just save the upgraded for potential Infinity Edge later if you want to as well. That's viable, but it's something you can do. If you're snowballing and you have an Ornn, you can then pick up the Ghostblade for the upgrade over the Edge of Night. Now, usually just go Edge of Night, and then you just move into a Lost Whisper item to get a lot of armor pen going that way. So just any Lost Whisper item that's good. You can go just straight up Lord Dominik's. It's going to give the most armor pen, which just gives you the most one-shot potential. However, if you are facing high healing champions like Kayn, Vladimir, and champions in that, like, going that way, or even like high healing support like Yuumi and Soraka, then going for the healing reduction Mortal Reminder Lost Whisper is better. Even though it gives 10% less armor penetration, that Grievous Wounds is going to be essential to you actually like winning fights, because you do have Tiamat, so all your damage is pretty much going to be AoE if you land something. It pretty much proccing the Grievous Wounds on a lot of targets, preventing them from healing, and that's going to be essential in those types of situations. Now, after picking up this lethality setup, as you can see, you will pretty much have the 5 items at this point in time. Now, this is where it starts to get into the later stages of the game, and this is where lethality starts to fall off a little bit, but you kind of make up for this with the critical strike, or which is crit in general. So this is the moment in time you want to just pick up a Phantom Dancer. This is the best item on Rengar because it gives you the shield as well as just the 7% extra move speed when like basic attacking, so they have more trouble getting away from you, and this is just a really valuable item. Only 2600 gold as well. If you crit with this setup right here with this item, so 25% crit chance, you're already gonna just start deleting people, and that's gonna be good there. Now at this point in time, the next item you want to pick up is Infinity Edge. Now you might think, what do I sell for the Infinity Edge? People might think the Tiamat, because you only have a Tiamat, right? Definitely not. Tiamat is way too valuable. You need to keep this. So just sell your Duskblade for the Infinity Edge at this point in the game. The reason you sell your Duskblade and not anything else, like you need your boots obviously. You're having more move speed is just really, really good. Now, yeah, just keep that. Duskblade, as again mentioned, lethality falls off in the later game quite heavily. So the Duskblade effect doesn't really provide you with anything. You still have the Edge of Night, which provides you a spell shield, which is very valuable. So definitely do not want to get rid of that. You do not want to get rid of Tiamat simply because this gives you a massive amount of AoE damage. So imagine you jump in with the Empowered Q and you crit off of having Infinity Edge. Then the Tiamat is going to put some damage off that initial crit, which is going to be like insanely high. It's going to be like a 1300 crit or something. It's gonna just AoE that to the other members when you jump in as well. So if you jump into like 4 people and land like a triple Q combo or double Q combo or whatever, you're just gonna instantly half HP, if not kill like 2 or 3 targets at the same time. So that's why Tiamat is definitely not a sell on Rengar, and you just want to keep that. So you pick up the Infinity Edge, and at this stage you can just pick up the Hydra as well, upgrading your Tiamat. Simply still not wanting to get rid of that Tiamat just because the AoE damage is very, very good. And yeah, this just kind of creates that. And then also if it gets to the really, really late, like this is already really late in the game. At this point, you're kind of starting to struggle a little bit on Rengar, not gonna lie. So if it gets this late, then you can still opt to go and sell your boots in this situation for more crit strike / more damage. Usually what I would pick up in those situations would be the Storm Razor, simply because of the fact that the this gives you the attack damage as well, so you'd have more attack damage. And yeah, I would sell my boots in this case, in this situation, for like a Storm Razor, so just to have that for the extra attack damage and just 75% crit chance. Again, not wanting to go to 100 because all of these other items are way too valuable to drop. So you do not want to drop Armor Pen or Edge of Night for the Spell Shield or the Hydra for the AoE damage. So this is something you can do. You can also pick up a Static. However, if it gets to this stage, then just paying more money for the same type of item is just good. Like, you can also pick up the Essence Reaver for the same situation as well. Actually, if I think about it, Essence Reaver might be more worth. Also gives 20% CDR. Actually, yeah, never mind. That's a bit mean, but I have been building Storm Razor myself if it gets to that stage, but actually Essence Reaver is better for more attack damage. So just do Essence Reaver, and then this would finish off your build, still without boots. Now, you do have Relentless if you did pick up Relentless, so you can still manage without boots, and at this stage in the game you just need the damage, so just opt for this. And this is a very linear Rengar build, nothing much changes for it. If you get to this stage, then that's heavy, that's a long ass game, but just putting that out there. So yeah, if you guys have any questions on this build, make sure to put this in the comments below. Also, if you enjoyed this video so far, please make sure to hit the thumbs up button as well, helped me quite a lot. And let's just get it right into the gameplay section now. Alright, welcome to the gameplay section of this guide. As you can see, I am playing Rengar, of course, into a Kha'Zix. Now, as Rengar, this is a pretty reasonable matchup. You usually should win this, however, it is a bit skill-based. The main reason Rengar has the advantage here is because if you use your W properly and you just heal Kha'Zix's burst, then you should be able to win the 1v1 in those situations. Now, the issue, the problem for this Kha'Zix right here is that he went Electrocute. If he went Conqueror into me, then he would have had a better time when it comes to 1v1s if I played him properly, but yeah. Now, also Rengar, you want to start on the red buff and then hit the plant here. This you just do at about right when it spawns, really, in 125. You can do it then. You just jump. The Q has a 6-second cooldown, so you just want to get this up as soon as you can. So just jump. If it has 125, 124, you can jump, then you have your Q. Your passive lasts for 8 seconds. So you should be fine to just get the stack. As long as you don't do it before 122, then you're going to have 2 stacks starting your red buff. Now, something I do want to mention on Rengar, you can do the same thing with this plant. All you have to do is stand really, really close to the plant here, and then just click the plant, press S, it will stop, and then you can walk over here and then just press Q to hit the plant, and then you'll jump over. This has about the same timing, so you can do that at the same time as well. Just make sure you stand close enough that you're in the brush, but don't stand like here because then it won't work. But you just stand on the edge of the brush, click this, press S immediately. That's the stop button, so it will stop moving. You get a ferocity stack. You can stand here, Q over the wall, and then you're good. So in the case that you do have to start blue buff, whilst those aren't very common because usually starting red on Rengar is better. But if you do have to, then that's an option as well for some invade path or whatever is gonna go on. So here I'm gonna have to be wary a little bit of the bleed from Darius, so I'm gonna have to wait it out, and then I just go here and take my Krugs. Now, something you do see right there, me do. This is one of the the core things with Rengar's ferocity. If you have no stacks at all, then you just try to walk to a brush wherever you can, especially when it comes this early of clearing your camps, because I don't have Tiamat right now, so I would have to struggle a little bit more, and especially when being level 2, you have more problems stacking your ferocity regardless. So if you have the opportunities to jump from brushes or attack from brushes, then you should do that, because this will give you an extra stack in any type of situation. So it's whether you're fighting somebody, whether you're doing anything, just try to leap from a brush when you have no stacks and try to play around that, because that extra stack is very valuable and will help you in a lot of situations. Now, for this camp on level 2, you initially want to clear the big one as fast as you can. This is mainly for the reason that the big one does a lot of damage. So you just attack that, smite it as soon as it dies. That's what you want to do. Right here, you see me kill the small ones real quick. This is also, I take less damage from this camp overall. And then use that small one to get my ferocity stack to max and then walk to the next camp. Now here you leap from the brush. You can just leap with Q. You get a stack from it from leaping. And then right here I kill the big one again. And there we kill the camp. Now I did use my potions now. And well, Rengar's clear is a little bit wonky to start off with. But as soon as you get Tiamat, this will start going. So we see Kha'Zix being spotted topside, Darius invaded, and I can now just freely take this, scuttle, and move on from there. Now he was spotted topside and zoned out of his jungle, which does mean that the Darius has warded the top scuttle, which is really, really good for me, because now the Kha'Zix was zoned out of his jungle by Darius, forced a flash. I didn't notice this by watching the minimap. You could have seen it earlier as well on the minimap. But the Darius pushed him out, so all I really have to do is just walk through mid lane. Now I was initially standing in the brush here on the edge, potentially to get the bola on this guy to potentially stun him or snare him. Sorry, not stun him. But I just want to get through mid lane to the other scuttle at this point. As you can see right there, I landed. I don't have my W up yet. If I would have had my W, I would have had a snare. And I would have forced Kassadin's flash, at least. Or he would have just died. So that's, yeah, a little bit unfortunate. I couldn't get my last stack in there, but I couldn't also wait because of the fact that my ferocity was running out. So I would have had no stacks at all, and that's not ideal either. Alright, there I was looking to see if the Maokai would step up towards me, because if I would have gotten the jump, that would have been an okay one to gank. Wasn't the case. However, I do see the Kha'Zix on bot lane right here. He's currently like level 4, so I just saw on the map that this camp was gonna spawn, or yeah. So he's right here. Instantly, what you do, or what I do, is I just counter jungle him. He does die on bot lane for the gank, so that's really good for that's actually really, really good for me. Here I just clear the wolves, leave the small one up, get 2 stacks from it still, and then just go and clear his Gromp as well. Now this is a really good situation for me, because this pretty much gives me the Tiamat. As you can see, gold-wise, I will have a Tiamat now. And yeah, it was a pretty slow start of an early game. I mean, it's just a farm route. As soon as you start to hit like higher levels, like 5 to 6, and you have your Tiamat on Rengar, you can start playing way more aggressive usually. Now, the only problem this specific game was that I could not actually play that aggressive, as you'll see in a second. But this will show you how to then play around that properly. Now, picking up the Tiamat here is a really good thing, because now clearing your camps becomes extremely easy. And you just want to make sure that you keep rotating those camps and rotating the camps from the enemy jungler wherever you have the chance. If you can go for an invade, that's usually better, because Rengar is very, very good in 1v1 situations. So if you were to go and walk to check his topside camps and 1v1 the Kha'Zix, you should normally win these, simply because of your damage output. And if you use your W properly, then the Kha'Zix should never really be able to out-damage you. So that's a good thing there. Right, here, as you can see, I'm still using the same tactic every single time. If I don't have stacks, I'm gonna walk into a brush and then get the stacks that way. And then this will leave me at higher stacks every time. So that's definitely something to remember every time. Alright, so here I see the alright. I do remember this one. Alright, so here in the mid lane, this guy currently has his ultimate, and the Kassadin, I mean, it's a Kassadin against an Echo. Kassadin does have the advantage, and he also had got a kill rather. So that's, yeah. Now in this situation, I was just initially looking towards going for bot lane for the gank with my ultimate, but I do see this play going on. And I've just figured that, okay, well, Echo has the ultimate, and he has a stun right here. So all I have to do is really ult, and he will stall this fight, ult this, and then he didn't ult it. So that's kind of unfortunate there. If he just pressed ultimate, he would have healed himself back. Probably done enough damage to the Kassadin to where he would have just died to me regardless. But here Kassadin places the control ward. He ults out, and then I was like, oh, right here, this is where I greed too hard. That was a really bad misplay for me. Yeah, I just died to the Kassadin, which really isn't ideal. And yeah, this is just a situation of I pressed my ult and I was like, well, he didn't press his ult. I got a little bit triggered off that, not gonna lie. And then I just jumped in on him anyway. And he still had flash and everything up as well for Echo dying, which I didn't expect, to be honest. If Echo died and he flashed for it, then, I mean, sure, Echo died, whatever, but he didn't even flash, so that was a little bit of a trigger point for me there, and I was like, alright, well, good luck in life, Echo, and I just don't gank that anymore. Yeah. So right now my main objective is to simply just keep my clear going. I made a mistake in the early game here and just gave a kill to Kassadin, which really, really isn't good. because now Kassadin is 3-0, and everyone knows that a Kassadin that's fed is a big problem, especially because the enemy team has Yuumi on their team as well, so that could be a very big problem. So my main goal right now is to just farm my camps wherever I can, and then start using my ultimates to gank, mostly, because with the way my lanes are going right now, it's probably, like, mid lane's never gonna happen. Top lane is still quite even, and I could still, or like Darius is a good amount ahead, but it's a Maokai, so I could still potentially snipe a kill on that. But it's mainly just, yeah, the bot lane that I'm trying to focus with ults now wherever I can. That's the idea. Now in this situation, we see the bot lane diving the Zyra. This is just map awareness, like right here, I see this happen. She has like no HP. All I have to do is get in this brush and they're pretty much dead. So I just get in the brush, leap, stand on the side of the blast cone, so the Syndra can't click it to just like blast herself over, because I'll go with her. And then I just get a free double kill off that, which is really good for me after a play that just happened. Picking up a free double kill like that really helps me. And now this also means that I can easily take this Drake for free, simply because we just killed their bot lane. And that's just a very good like point in the game for us. However, the Echo dies again 1v1 against the Kassadin. Now at this point, with Kassadin being so fed, I'm not that surprised. I'm also just not surprised in general, to be honest, after what I've just witnessed. But yeah, now at this point it's very important and very essential that no matter how much your team ints, you play your own game. Because if you start like just randomly ulting on rank, like let's say I would get, I don't know what the right word for this is, like maybe emotional and get angry or get triggered or whatever, and I just start ulting in to, for example, kill the Kassadin in the mid lane, then that could turn out really poorly. Like, it's more consistent and better in general to just play for the consistency, play for the farm. Because if you do that, then you'll always get ahead and always keep ahead. Now here, this is just making really good use for Tiamat, and also using the stacks from the for Ferocity and from the leaps to clear camps. In this case, I sneak into the brush, and then I'm just gonna wait for an opportunity where I can jump on a Maokai. I was kind of waiting for Darius to walk up and just go in, but that wasn't really happening, so I just figured I'd do it myself. And I snare him there for some reason. Looking back at this now, I'm actually curious, because this was a weird moment for me in that situation. Alright, so here I land the Ferocity, he flashes, I just snare him. Darius was walking after me, and apparently for some weird reason still got CC'd by Maokai ultimate. That looked really weird. That should never have hit the Darius. He walked, like, I tanked the Maokai ultimate and he walked in my line, so he should have been able to get in range. If the Darius would have been able to get in range, if not for this weird ass Maokai ultimate, he probably would have died, because he just used his flash, I snared him, Darius would have been able to hook him and slow him with W, and then that would have been a kill. But in this case, Maokai locked out, I suppose. I don't know what happened there, really. So that's okay, I guess. Now, I do have my ultimate up right now, so I would initially like to look for a play on bot lane, because this is probably the easiest lane I can kill, since Maokai is extremely tanky and really difficult to kill, and Kassadin is just way too far ahead, and the Echo really isn't doing anything. I actually believe this is the point in the game where the Echo went AFK for like, I don't know how long, and the Zyra as well. So that's a bit unfortunate there. We have 2 AFKs right now for a little while this game. And yeah, well, normally you would say, well, this is just an open, but really, yeah, this is just a whatever situation. They might get a comeback or not, but I'm never gonna just give up unless it's really doomed. At this point, I have two kills, and I do have the opportunity to CS pretty well, so I should be fine that way. I ulted there, and just everyone seems to have a control ward the moment I ult or something, I don't know. So I can't really just get in range of that. I'm not really gonna go aggressive on that. I used my ultimate tiny bit too early there, in my opinion, if I look back at it now, but it's okay. The main thing I can do right now, because of the fact that, oh, actually Zyra came back. The Echo is AFK right here. The main thing I can do is, I cannot play aggressive, no matter how much I want to, and no matter how much I just want to make this or ruin this Kha'Zix's life, because I do have the stronger 1v1. I'm definitely not able to do that this game, so this is just going to be a game of me consistently clearing my jungle wherever I can. because the Kha'Zix will not be able to invade me since Rengar just wins that. And yeah, so this is just gonna have to be a game where I just clear, take whatever I can, and be there. Okay, Echo actually came back after like 2 minutes or whatever, 2.5, 3 minutes, whatever it was. And TP's bot lane. I'm just gonna keep clearing my camps. I use the controller there. I just want to save time here because I know that I can also take the top wave. It might be like a little bit troll, people seeing me use this controller, but in this case, if I didn't use the control ward, I would not have been able to take this entire wave in time, and I would much rather get the entire wave and just use the control ward there, and also not lose time on clearing my jungle camps on the next rotation. So in this case, we see the play going on in bot lane, and the situation for me right now is I would never have been able to get to the bot lane since I was doing my topside camps. At that point in time, the Echo and Zara came back eventually, so I was not expecting that either. Honestly, I was just kind of expecting them to stay AFK. They were here for like 2.5 minutes or something. So I just cleared my jungle camp, went top lane, and in this case, you see the turret plates going down soon, and the fight going on in bot lane. Maokai teleported bot lane as well, I do believe. So I can definitely just do as much damage as I can to this turret right now, and just try to get as many plates as I can. As you see with Rengar, damaging the turret is pretty easy with your Qs. They count for turrets. So that's really a good situation there. Alright, so one thing with Rengar is the moment like you see anyone by themselves, especially these days, because these days if you kill somebody solo when they're completely by themselves, you get an increased amount of experience from them. So this will easily get you like a lot of level leads with Rengar, simply because you can ult people, and ulting with Rengar pretty much guarantees that you get the solo kill on that specific target, so you get more experience for it. So you have to try to use this to your advantage as much as possible, getting that solo kill experience. And this is what you see me do right here. Now initially, I was thinking about just jumping the Kha'Zix, but the thing with this is the Kha'Zix just assist pings himself and starts playing back instantly, which is a good play from him. Now I do know that I saw the Maokai top lane just recently, I believe. I will probably see it if I skip it back, but right now, what I see on the minimap is a Kassadin with a Yuumi on them, which is a good play from them, because the Kassadin is really fat and Yuumi needs to be with him, really. But that means the Syndra is alone, and that means I can just turn away from the Kha'Zix and instantly move towards the Syndra. She knocks me back, which is a little bit annoying of a mechanic as Rengar, but I just flash on her and still get the kill. Now this lands me solo kill experience, which as you saw with level wise, I'll go back here in this specific situation. Go back a little bit more. See where my experience bar is at right now? It's like, what would you say, 4/10 of the way to level 11. Now, just from getting the kill on Syndra, just look at how this experience bar jumps up. So I get the kill, I flash on her here, it's fine. Oh, by the way, one of the mechanics you should know as Rengar as well is the E flash mechanic. So yeah, well in this case at least I get like half a level, quite literally like half a level from killing just one target. That's a lot of experience. So that's just the solo kill experience coming in. I'll just play this in slow motion as well. So I jump initially. I was kind of expecting to get knocked back, honestly, but right here, as you see, like you can just prep the E. So you just press E flash, then you can prep the E that way to use it on her, get a stack from it, and then there we go. Now this just usually works best with your empowered bola if you want to land that as a gank, especially like early game. If you, for example, kite this scuttle crab up and down the river to wherever you want to gank, so you can just kite it, like push it up towards the mid lane, and then just make sure that you get your ferocity stack to max off of the scuttle, and then you can walk in. From example, like you kill the scuttle right here, you have max stacks, and you want to gank mid lane, then you can walk in with max ferocity this way on like level 3 or 4, whatever. Like usually if you kill the scuttle, you're gonna be like level 4. So you can walk in from this direction and then use that empowered bola to gank. Now this can be used two ways. You can use it to just throw it if the opportunity is right and the enemy is like standing right in like range for you to use your bola, but you can also then E flash to get the bola onto the target then, because that would also help you in that situation. So that's like one of the gank methods you can use early game for Rengar. If you just use this scuttle to keep your stacks, and then use those stacks because you have 8 seconds to walk into a lane from behind, and then use the Empowered Bola to early gank. People don't necessarily expect those early Rengar ganks, and you will most likely get a kill out of those types of ganks. So that's definitely something to keep in mind. And that's definitely something I also want to mention with your E. So try to E flash in situations where you can. Alright, here, pick up the Scuttle, and then also, after just getting the kill on Syndra and seeing Kha'Zix topside, I can definitely also pick up the Drake. Now, the good situation we have here is the Kassadin and Yuumi just killed the Sturk, which on their end is a little bit greedy, not gonna lie, because in this situation, they're never gonna have enough time to get back. As you can see, he's already on 2 stacks, meaning his ultimate's gonna cost an increase, I believe it's like 200 mana at this point, and he currently only has 500 mana. So for him to actually try to get out is going to be pretty difficult. As you see, he just used another ultimate stack there, so he's now 3, meaning his ult costs, I believe, 800 at this point, or 400, whatever the count is, really. So he just kind of is forced into the pit, and this is where I just use my jump passive and get the shutdown gold on Kassadin, and then also we kill the Yuumi. So that's really, that's an essential situation, like a really good situation for me. I just got the shutdown gold on the Kassadin, which is worth a lot, and then I can pick up the Duskblade, and then also a bunch of other items as well, as you can see. And right now, my main objective is just to go back to clearing my camps, because I need to keep that clear going. I currently have a 1 in 5 mid laner, and a 1 in like 3 in 7 bot lane, so they're definitely not doing too hot. My Darius, however, is doing pretty well, so that's really good for me. But in this situation, farm is the essential part, and dragon control and objective control wherever I can is what I want to look for. Now this is another one, so situations. I figured, like, seeing this right here, this guy, I don't know what he was thinking. Like, this is not even, this is, I believe, Diamond 1 elo. So, I don't know, this seems a little bit weird to walk up solo with the enemy team having a Rengar like this. So, right here, this is one of the things that is a thing with Rengar you can do as well. So we see him right here. I have 2 stacks. I'm just going to use, as you can see, I'm just going to kill this camp quite easily, really. I'm not going to use my Ferocity here, because I can use this Ferocity with these stacks, like, timing down here to just ult. And then as soon as you have max Ferocity and you use it, you get a slight move speed boost as well. So you can use this, like, as you can see right here, at 4 stacks. The next ability is Empowered. Casting the Empowered ability increases Rengar's movement speed by 40% for 1.5 seconds. Now, what does this mean? This means that you can easily catch up and use it on your Q, which at the same time, if you use it like this, so you stack your Ferocity to max off of a camp or off of a minion and then start ulting, you can use 3 Qs in 1 rotation, and that's generally gonna kill anything, really. So the way this works is you, like, just walk in with full Ferocity, then press Q right as you're walking up. You get a move speed boost, which is going to make catching them even easier, as you can see as well. So this happens. I jump in, and right here, I barely do not get the kill off of the initial hit. But in this case, if she wouldn't have insta-flashed away, she would have just died straight out. But this is one of the things I want you to note. Like, just really slow motion this out, because I jump in with Q. Now, so you see the jump with Q right there. The jump gives me a stack. The Q is gonna land, and then right there I land my EW at the same time, pretty much giving me full Ferocity. And then I could have, at this point, with that max stack, if she didn't flash out and push me back, I could have Q'd again and then Q'd again as well, I believe. Actually, was it a situation where I could do that? No, actually, I think I got it a little bit wrong seeing the combo here. Like, you land the Q, then you can use another Q, and then you can use the Empowered Q again. That's basically the combination right there. Like, right there, as you saw, I used my Empowered Bola, my Q was up again, so I could use it again. So that's like that's a triple Q combo on Rengar. Just make sure you jump in with max stacks, and then jump as soon as you leap, use the Empowered Q, and then use your rotation Q, and you can just spam Q on your keyboard, really, and you're just gonna get 3 Qs off. This usually kills anything, so if you can try to, off of your jungle camp, get max stacks, then ultimate, then run in, and that way you will get the triple Q off. And any type of situation in a 1v1, in a gank and whatever, it's going to get the kill most likely, since it just does so much damage. So unless you get pushed back or anything like that, then you should be fine. In this case, she flashes out and pushes me back, so that's kind of an awkward situation in the end. I would have gotten the kill there with the Empowered Bola, however, in this situation, the Ezreal actually snipes the Syndra, which is fine as well. Now that's my ultimate pretty much for the Syndra flash, and that's definitely something I'd take as a trade. Right here, as you saw me do right there as well, by the way. I was looking to make a play on this Kassadin, but I also wanted to get my stacks up, so I just started hitting the ward with my leap and some Qs here and there to make sure my stacks are going up, so I can use those stacks to potentially snare or do anything with them really. Also there, jump on the plant to increase the duration of my passive, so I'd have my stacks for longer. Those are the small things you're gonna have to keep an eye out on. Now, I would have to say that this Rift Herald is really way too greedy, and I definitely do not want to be doing this, because we see an Echo on bot lane. He does not have teleport, and if their enemy team collapses, we just die. And as you can see right here, the Maokai just flashes in on me. I try to W out, try to do whatever I can, but yeah, the Maokai W flash ultimate is not something I could really escape in that situation, and I kind of just die for it. So again, there's the engage. Now, the only sad part about this play is the fact that we probably would have won this if the Ezreal and the Zyra actually played a little bit more aggressive and played a bit better. Because what you see right here is the Ezreal having flash exhaust up, and the Darius literally just got a kill there with his ultimate, meaning he gets his passive and his resets on his ultimate. So him killing the Maokai, this should instantly tell both of them, being full HP and full mana basically, that they can just walk up and fight this. They instead leave Darius kind of alone in this situation, and yeah. The Darius gets in there. Ezreal does still have exhaust. If Ezreal just went forward and exhausted Kassadin, then they probably would have just aced that fight clean. But yeah, that's a bit unfortunate, I suppose. Just something the way we could have won that fight in the end. However, I just did get caught out. There was nothing I could do about it, so it's just unfortunate really there. I should not have been in that position. Now for me, it's just important to keep my farm going. Because as you can see, the CS I currently have is 154, which is the highest in the game, actually. That's pretty sad, actually, to be honest, looking back at that. But yeah, it's just all about keeping that farm going, because it's going to give you a level advantage and just make you stronger in those types of games where you're not getting as many kills. This game I only have like 4 kills, usually as Rengar. If you get like an early double kill or start snowballing, then your kills are going to go out of control, and it's just an easy snowball game for this type of, for like Rengar's type of champion. However, this game with those 2 AFKs and pretty much my bot and mid just kind of running it, yeah, that wasn't the case. So it's just more of a slow game that I'm going to have to play in that situation. Now right here, I do get the Rift Herald. However, the Zyra just randomly walks top lane and just leaves me on the Rift Herald, which cost me quite a lot of damage and could have potentially lost me my life. But yeah. Now with the play right here, as you can see on the map, my team, or like my Darius and my bot lane died. I just instantly reset. I do not want to deal with this. I'm just gonna back with the Rift Herald that I just caught, use the recall, and then instantly run towards Dragon. Because Kha'Zix isn't here, as you can see in this play, right? We see Yuumi, Syndra, Maokai is dead, and we see Kassadin. So Kha'Zix nowhere to be found, whereas Kha'Zix probably gonna try to do Dragon because he doesn't want us to have the opportunity to get Soul. Now the thing is, Dragon's not gonna spawn for a little bit, so I do have a little bit more time, and I can just start ulting. As you can see, I'm probably just gonna ult right here, because my ultimate does have a good long range, and you gain the extra move speed, so you're gonna get there faster for 16 seconds. 16 seconds is more than enough time to run the distance here. And I just gonna rush for the Dragon with ultimate. I see Kha'Zix, I just jump Kha'Zix. He gets out, and I'm just gonna take the Dragon here. Even if I die for this, I do not care, because picking up a Dragon at this stage, right now, against a Kassadin in this specific situation, if you get the Ocean Soul, that's probably our biggest win condition against the Kassadin Yuumi combination they have right now, because Kassadin is starting to get up there, and the moment he hits level 16, you have to be scared. So me getting this Ocean and keeping the Dragon control, even if I have to commit to it so hard that I die to get the Dragon, that's completely fine. But just make sure you get it in a situation like this. So we need the Soul to be able to scale against our team, and that's what I'm looking for here. I'm just going to look in. I just saw the Kha'Zix use his ultimate, so I'm just going to play it a little bit safer. Wait for my Darius to get in range. He did get in range, and then right here, we just try to get the Maokai damage. Now, one of the things with Darius, or with Rengar, sorry, is Bone Tooth Necklace. You need to get a kill on everyone on the enemy team, or at least like get the assist whilst you did damage within 1.5 seconds. So this is a little bit annoying to stack in some games. And this is one of those situations, like right here, you would expect that I would have done enough damage there, but I actually did not get the stack on Maokai. So right there, still sitting on 3 stacks, and this game specifically, it was really difficult to get those stacks actually going because of the fact that I just had no team on the bot side of the map, really. I just had a Darius on my team, basically. So getting those stacks was actually really, really difficult. Now, the good thing here is that I still got the dragon anyway because that's just my main play, and then the Maokai was right here. I was mainly trying to just kill that Maokai as soon as I can, because it jumps over, I die. But I was just like, alright, I'm just going to do this for the stack. That should be fine as well. I mean, at this point, I'm not losing anything because I'm not worth shutdown gold, so it's not that bad. As long as I can get my stack, then I should get a damage increase off that. Now, in this case, I didn't, and that's a little bit unfortunate there. So right here, I'm just going to take whatever I can. I'm just, for anything, you guys might think that's a little bit mean to not give Echo blue buff, but at this point, after him AFKing already, I'm just not going to bother with that guy, and I'm just going to take whatever I can and just get myself ahead and just keep myself going on XP. Now here, this is one of those situations. I do have Edge of Night, so like in this case, the Kha'Zix procs my Edge of Night with E. That's pretty good from him. If he would have landed the combo, so he would have jumped in and then instantly Q'd in air, then his Q would have gone Edge of Knighted. But he uses it on E, so that's really good from him. Now in this case, I am in a pretty bad spot, and as you can see, the health, just make sure you use your Rengar W as soon as you start seeing gray health pop up, really. Because that's the time you want to use it. Now here, he jumps in, he does a lot of damage with his chunk, then my W gets there, and then I just instantly press the empowered W as well to double heal myself, and I can get out of that situation, flash out. The Kha'Zix takes a lot of damage. And that would have also showed you why a 1v1 as Rengar into Kha'Zix is just going to be really easy, because if he uses his burst rotation on you, or on me in this case, and he bursts me down, then I can just press W, heal it all back, and then just pummel him into the ground. So that would have been the 1v1 matchup usually. And I would have been able to walk over him a little bit more, but in this game specifically, that wasn't going to happen. But the main thing here in this game is just the farm and the dragon control that's actually gotten me through it so far. Use the Rift Herald just to get a push going, to get a here as you can see, just get the turret, get as much turret damage as we can, just slow push it out. As Rengar, when it comes to those types of fights, those situations, these types of pushes, you do not have an opportunity to just jump in with your passive at any stage. The only jump you would have is your ultimate. So the way you should play these types of pushes is just hit the minions wherever you can. Try to get your stacks up and try to land the snare from E. So just try to land empowered bolas wherever you can, trying to catch people. Because your bola does do a good amount of CC. As you can see, roots the target for 1.75 seconds. So if you land it on like anyone, really, if I would land a bola on Kassadin and Darius is able to walk up, or Zyra is able to snare, then we should get a kill out of that. So that's really what I'm looking for. Try to hit the minions here and there. Try to keep your ferocity stacked to where that you can throw those bolas. And that's really what you want to look for in those situations. Actually, in this case, yeah, I have 1600 gold, so I do have the opportunity to back here. And it's just about clearing my jungle camps again. I want to try to hit that level 16 as soon as I can, really. So I'm just going to try to get whatever camps I can and play it for the next dragon, which is going to spawn soon. So that's really the thing you want to look for. Now, the CS difference here is the main thing to note. I have not really been taking lane farm. I think I might have taken a few waves here or there, simply because, well, I didn't have a mid or bot lane probably. I just take the wave if it's there, or it just has to be pushed. It's mainly just jungle rotations and jungle kills that landed me a high amount of CS over this guy. So it's definitely it's a 76 CS lead, which is going to go up to 80 CS lead after killing Gromp, which is really, really good there. Right here. Actually, I was just walking, casually minding my own business, and I actually... this one hurts my eyes to see it again, man. Like, the moment... There's sometimes where I'm just like casually walking. I was trying to walk around and just wait for, like, look for a jump on the Kassadin, and I just accidentally clicked the fucking Maokai. So in this situation, I mean, that jump, never good, always bad. There's nothing else I can say. I do remember that just being a misclick and just me like face planting or face palming really, really hard at it. Jumping the Maokai, instantly getting killed off that, and that just cost me the dragon here, I do believe. So just a misclick, like honestly, Man, that hurts. As you saw me standing there, like, I was like, fuck, man. So that's actually a really bad point, because this is one of those situations where that could have been our Ocean Soul, and it could have been a game win. So me just misclicking once just hurts. So that's yeah, all I can say really. Don't go for the tank. That's really, if you're Rengar ulting, always try to go for a BRIO target like the Kassadin. If I could have just, if I would have just jumped him, then that would have been better. Or find anyone else, like found a Syndra or something. But I accidentally clicking the Maokai definitely is not the play. Moving on from that, just a slight mistake on my part. I'm just gonna make sure that I clear my camps wherever I can. The Darius and the Zyra get killed randomly somewhere on top side, which is a bit unfortunate, but we're just gonna have to play this out. If they do Baron now, there's nothing we can do, so I'm just not gonna play for that. That's fine. Actually, in this case specifically, with the way this position, right? So if they would have started Baron, which, I mean, you see the effect on Syndra right here. So she gets the Void Corruption on her, which indicates that Baron has been started. So I just path that way, as you can see right now. I just path in this direction. We see Maokai ult, and I saw the Syndra. I was like, oh, maybe I might be able to ult the Syndra. Then Kassadin randomly goes aggressive. I just ult, and this is just like Kassadin getting overconfident, I guess, with Yuumi on him. So he just flashes, he ults, whatever, he goes into Zonias, whatever, and then right here it's just like, oh, poke, I'm Rengar, I believe. Yep, he just dies off of a Q. And that's really good for us, because that just straight up means we can do Baron now, since the Kassadin Yuumi just died, and that being their biggest power spike. So that's a pretty stupid play from him. Honestly, they could have probably just done that Baron after Darius and Syndra dying, or Zyra dying, sorry. But in this case, yeah. Now you see me walking back in the pit right here, simply because my ult has a 2-second cooldown, so I'm kind of just waiting this out and looking for an opportunity to go in. Do not want to get bursted by anything. I'm just going to start ulting and just trying to run in, look for a pick. Now, because XW does give a hefty slow, so not the opportunity there. Kassadin teleports in. I was initially trying to go for him, because if he just shows up, I know he doesn't have Zonia, so he's never going to survive a burst. I can just one-shot him, really. And none of that really starts to happen there, and I just move on to clearing more camps. So as you see, seeing the CS difference, I'm currently level 17, which is the main thing to take away here. All the CS advantage I've gotten, even though my kill participation isn't that high, it's mainly about the objective control and then just getting myself ahead, because I was not able to play the game really, this one specifically. So if this happens to you, if you happen to get like really unlucky with your team and they AFK or they do whatever, this game perfectly shows you that you can easily stay in a game and use your Tiamat to clear and all of that type of stuff to make sure you're doing well. Because as Rengar, everybody knows if you get an early gank, if you can get like 2 or 3 kills and you get the snowball going, then you just snowball, you just win. This champion is a win more champion, so if you can get a lead, it's pretty much over from there. So it's like a really good thing to see that you're still able to get through a game, not getting as many kills, but using your clear, your pathing to then just give yourself or keep yourself in the game and still be able to make the plays. I just use my ult. Now, the thing with Rengar ult at this stage in the game is, if you're getting to the late game and you see, like, I'm basically just hunting, because if someone was to clear it like this way, for example, and they would have just walked up to it solo, I would have been able to ult there. That was my plan, so I just ulted. And then I just go for that. Now the dragon isn't spawning soon yet, and Rengar ult has a like 50-second cooldown, so it's really not that bad at this point. I can use that to then get it back, probably in time, honestly, for the drag fight. Maybe a little bit too late, like 10 seconds late, but 10 seconds should still be okay. So just use it. If I can get a pick, then that's pretty much means that I can just kill that target instantly. So that's what you're looking for at this stage in the game. Look for, like, think where the enemy can be, and if they're going to be solo or not, and then just ult in a situation where you think they're going to be, and you can spot them, and then start to just pick them off, really. Now in this case right here, we see the Syndra, the Syndra is going bot lane. We see the wave. Now right here, this Syndra right here is bot lane. And they, like in this case, I'm just clearing the ward because, well, we see Syndra bot lane, so I'm not worried at all. If they jump on me now, then that's completely fine. You don't always have to do the most damage on Rengar. That's also... So right here, the Kha'Zix jumps in on me, and then the Maokai jumps in as well. As you saw, the Kha'Zix bursts me, And all I'm really doing at this point is using my Edge of Night and stalling for my team. Because they engage, Zyra gets plants off, sets her ultimate up. Kassadin should not be able to follow this whatsoever. Syndra has bot lane. So all I have to do is survive. I don't have to do damage, or as much damage. So as you can see, me just using my W right there, healing for like 800 off of the W, gaining my HP back, stacking up my Conqueror, and just stalling that fight out, tanking the damage there. The W really is an easy method to tank your damage, because like just gaining instant 800 HP back is really, really valuable. Now currently, the problem is, because I used it earlier and the fight just went, and like, it just happened so much sooner than I was expecting. I don't have my ultimate right now, and that's a problem, because I cannot walk up to this Kassadin. If I walk up to this Kassadin right now, I'm in range for him to just ult W me once, and I'm dead. And if I do that, then that's definitely not worth it. So I'm just staying back wherever I can, looking for an opportunity to try and get in a brush or anything to be able to participate in the fight. Because that, or like for my team to kite towards the brush, so I can actually like try to do damage in a fight or one-shot the Kassadin or something. I'm not able to walk up simply because of the fact that this Kassadin will one-shot me. So I'm going to have to respectfully play this, and that's also why you see me stand right here. In this case, I could never walk up. So that's something to remember. Like, I could have maybe gotten in this brush, but the problem is the dragon's up and I'm still a jungler. So if I die and we lose the fight, or if I die and something happens and they get the dragon, then we again don't get the soul. So I'd rather live and try to still smite it at the end then, if that would have been a thing, or wait for my ultimate to be back up and then jump in or anything like that, then just commit suicide there. So that's something you also have to think about as a jungler. In this case, we pick up the Ocean Soul, and that is pretty much game over, because picking up an Ocean Soul just straight up means that they're never actually gonna win a fight against. Dragon Souls are just like super, super strong. And right here, I'm just focusing on ending the game, just using empowered Qs on turrets, and that's basically it. So from a game that looked really grim with like 2 AFKs for like 2.5 minutes, 3 minutes, whatever it was, the main thing to take away from this is just the farm difference. Keeping your jungle clear going is a very crucial thing, even if you cannot get ahead on Rengar. Now, I wanted to use this gameplay mainly because of the fact that Rengar, like most of my games on Rengar, are just very snowball heavy, very just one-sided stomps, because if you get going on Rengar, if you use like an early Bola gank to get ahead, as I said, with a scuttle mechanic, or just anything like that, then it's just really easy auto race for Rengar ganks if you can like walk into top lane and just do a lane gank off of the brushes. If you can get a lead that way and get yourself going, you're most likely going to snowball in any normal game. Now in this specific case, that wasn't the situation, so then it comes to clearing your jungle effectively and farming properly, and you still get a lead and you can still play that way. So that's really the thing with Rengar right now. It's actually a very, very strong pick. He gets banned quite a lot, especially throughout Diamond, I've noticed, and Master still some, but yeah. Overall, very fun champion, would recommend. He takes a while to learn, he has a pretty high skill cap as well, so give him a try. And yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. If you did, please make sure that the thumbs up button helps me out quite a lot. If you want to see more guides from me in the future, hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!